he takes more shots to the dome than Nina Drama during fight week. There's no way in which Paddy Pimblett could win this fight. Not against Gaethje. I'm going to give you what you want right off the bat. And I'm going to tell you that Gaethje's going to win this fight. I'm not going to make you wait. I'm going to Quentin Tarantino this video. So I'll break it down for you. I'll give you some details. But Gaethje is going to take this victory. And that's, I mean, at this point, it's a matter of semantics. Victory? I've been saying for, since the beginning that this is a battle of the bridesmaids. This fight shouldn't even be happening. It's an interim title. I mean, at this point, you could basically call it an interim title fight. Everybody knows that Armin should be in there. He's going around the world doing all these side quests right now. He's basically going to be the most decorated lightweight champion ever by the time he actually gets. He's going to be more decorated than Henry Cejudo. He's going to be more decorated than Michael, what's that fool's name? Just went to ruin Michael Flow right now. By the time that Armin Tsarukyan gets that lightweight gold, he's going to be more decorated than Michael, what's that fool's name? Oh, by the time Armin Tsarukyan gets that lightweight gold, he's going to be more decorated than Michael Morales on New Year's Eve. It's ridiculous. He's out here collecting these infinity stones, and I never even seen the movie. But I've been hearing the reference. A lot of people are talking about it. It's no secret what Dana White is doing to Armin Tsarukyan, and I think he's trying to make him look stupid. I think he's trying to make it like he's out there slumming, but instead he's collecting victories and titles and trophies and street cred and whatever you call it for the podcast circuit. Is crazy. He's crushing the podcast circuit. But this video is not about Armin Tsarukyan. It's not about the actual official undisputed contender. It's not about, I was going to make a reference to that one dude that was on Joe Rogan that I made a post about that looks exactly like Ilia Tapuera if he was in hiding. And then he actually went and changed his name and got a new identity and everything. But it's not funny unless you saw my post. You know that dude Paul something that goes out into the Brazilian rainforests and tries to save the monkeys and whatever? He straight up looks exactly like if Ilia Tapuera was in hiding and changed his name and everything. And started doing steroids. But this video is not about Armin Tsarukyan being the rightful contender to the lightweight title. The dude that Ilia Tapuera faked the divorce over so that he could buy himself time with the UFC. But then his lady actually ended up divorcing him and leaving him because she lost respect for him. Because at first, now there's a rumor, I've been talking about it. There is a rumor that Ilia Tapuera and his wife were in on this together, and she was trying to buy him some time so he didn't have to face Armin Tsarukyan, because if that ship goes down, they all go down with it, right? But then in the process, she started to lose respect for him, and then she actually did leave him. It's a whole thing, but that's another video. We're talking about Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje right now. And first of all, I want to apologize because I feel like an idiot right now. I feel like I look stupid because of this set. I don't know what you want to call it, my backdrop. I usually have it set up for streaming, and I feel like it's very compact and funny looking right now because I don't have my chat around me, and I don't have Big Al right here in the corner, so it looks very naked. So I need to do some work on here if I'm going to be making these kinds of videos. And I want to tell you guys something, just a quick little detour. If you are watching this video and you want me to make these kinds of videos on a daily or semi-daily basis, how about you put your comments and your likes and your shares and your hypes and your subscribes where your mouth is, and let the algorithm know. Because if I upload a video like this and it gets no love and it gets 300 views, I can't make them anymore. So if you are somebody that thought that I died and you don't know how come I'm not uploading videos anymore, and you'll take what you could get and you want this kind of video, then please show the algorithm and I'll keep doing it. Don't cry. I will edit videos when I'm able to. It's just a little bit difficult these days. So, I know you like them, and I'll try my best to keep making them. But you could keep me and the channel alive if you show some love on these kind of videos. But anyway, I also want to apologize for the moment I decided to record this video, that my neighbor thought that it was a perfect time to start doing his yard work. So I apologize for that as well, if you could hear it. But anyway, I've been making fun of Justin Gaethje for the longest time. calling him a rock'em sock'em. That's all he is, that he's a living, breathing haymaker. And I'm not rescinding any of that. I don't want anybody to come across this video and be like, wait a minute, fool. What about all that stuff that you ever said, all the videos that you made? That is still intact. None of that changes. Now, I will say that he definitely made some leaps and bounds after the Max Holloway fight. That second fight with Fiziev, I mean, the first, as well, but especially the second fight with Fiziev was one of the most boring fights I ever seen in my life. I will watch Derek Lewis and Nogano every day before that fight. I will watch Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Tyrone Woodley every day instead of this fight. It was ridiculous. But that was Gaethje kind of reining it in, actually listening to his coach for once, trying to do something different. And I think we saw a glimpse of a different type of Justin Gaethje that we had never ever seen before. He didn't just get knocked out by Max Holloway. It wasn't a freak thing. He was losing every round before that. He was getting outclassed, and he knew it, and his coach knew it. And at a certain point, when you're Justin Gaethje's coach, remember, Justin Gaethje is the guy that came into the UFC at a very young age. Well, I don't know if it was that young, but I'm saying right at the start, right off the bat, as soon as he got there, he was saying in interviews, I'm the type of guy that's going to get knocked out. I'm definitely going to get knocked out. It's only a matter of time because of my fighting style. Huh? That doesn't make me feel good if I'm your coach, bro. I got a legacy, especially if I'm the dude. And I can never remember his name. I can never remember Justin Gaethje's coach's name. I just know that he got that smile like the Joker. Justin Gaethje could be in there getting his head pummeled off and his face getting beat into ground beef. And his coach is over there in the corner. Is wild. I can't remember his name, though. But I think they got their ducks in a row. And that Fiziev fight, I think it started a different trajectory for Gaethje. Now, in the last couple of weeks, I've watched every single Gaethje fight. I've watched every single Pimblett fight. And I know, people aren't supposed to rely on MMA math. Now, I refer to my methods a little above and beyond. I refer to it as MMA long division. And I really do, chanclas on the ground and really extract every single thing I can from everything. And, in my humble opinion, as much as I made fun of Justin Gaethje over the years, Paddy Pimblett has no right to be anywhere. They shouldn't even let Pimblett be the dude to close the cage door on a Justin Gaethje fight. He has no right to be anywhere near him. The last, I don't know. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know if you're going to say that the last 3 fights are what got him here. Because I don't really think that's true. To Pimblett's credit, I don't think his last 3 fights are what got him to this fake title shot. I think it's his behavior, his attitude, how he works the mic, the fact that Dana White desperately needs some action in the UK. I mean, it definitely didn't work out with Tomas Aspinall. That dude became a laughingstock. They tried the hate and, all the hate and vitriol that everybody had for John Jones. Dana White tried his best to shape and mold that into, misplaced emotion and turn that into love for Tomas Aspinall. But that dude went and dropped the eyeball, so to speak. And now they're trying to do it with Paddy Pimblett. Because it definitely wasn't his last 3 fights. His last 3 fights were with dudes that everybody in the MMA community considers memes. And I was talking about it very recently. I believe that that's the reason why the Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler fight, one of the main reasons is why it's not going to happen at the White House. Because Dana White, well, he probably don't know. I don't think this dude is, he's a good businessman, He's this era's Vince McMahon. But I don't think he has, how every time they ask him a question, he's like, what? Huh? What are you talking about? Huh? Hey? I never even heard of Instagram. What is that? Huh? So I think somebody, whether his assistants or one of his girlfriends or whatever, somebody out there has their thumb on the pulse of what's going on, and they have to relate to him in the war room. That's where it all goes down. And he has to know. He had to have been informed by this point that the whole Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler thing had become a meme. At this point, everybody's making fun of Michael Chandler. He's desperate. He's secretly in love with Conor McGregor. And he wants to single white female him and the whole thing. And it's just pathetic and embarrassing. So Dana White, especially at the White House, especially at the White House, doesn't want to make a mockery of the sport and deliver a meme on a silver platter to these people. I mean, so Michael Chandler ruined it. He ruined it. He should have played hard to get. So anyway. Paddy Pimblett's last 3 fights were similar. These dudes are memes in the community. So I don't think it's the fights that got him there. I think he got there off of his own, off of some of his other stuff. But if we gotta talk about him, and I might get the order mixed up, but I believe it was Ferguson, Green, and Chandler. Now I'm confident. I'm fairly confident that most of the people watching this video right now could beat Ferguson, Green, and Chandler in an MMA fight. I'm confident about that. I will put some money on that. If you want to donate some money to me, I'll put the money on that. And none of these guys, I mean, I don't know if we could go as far as to say that they had losing records, but they definitely have losing reputations. And I was watching a video by Michael Bisping the other day, and he was literally, I thought he was joking at first, but I think he's just a little bit, he was talking about, he was trying to legitimize the victory over Tony Ferguson. He's like, everybody makes fun of Tony Ferguson, but man, look at how he's doing right now in Misfits. And they doubted him. Like, he's over there killing it. I'm like, bro, I thought he was going to do a switcheroo and be a funny dude, but man, he's really, and there's 2 things with Bisping. He's on the UFC payroll, which is why he's going to be on that Dana White stuff, trying to get into the UK, trying to get that fan base. And also, he's a UK, even though he's a trader, and I think he lives in like San Diego or something like that. So he's kind of like, he's like a self-loathing Brit. So I don't know why he's rocking with Paddy so hard. It doesn't make any sense. But you got Tony Ferguson, you got King Green. The most significant thing that Green has ever done in his UFC career is change his name. That's the highlight of his career. That's the biggest thing that he's ever done. That's the most that everybody. He's the meta world peace of the UFC. That's it. That's all he's got. At least Meta had a 3-point shot. And then Chandler, he's the punching bag. He's the punching bag of the UFC. It's exciting to watch him, just like it's exciting to watch a train wreck. And his 4th fight, it was Ferguson, it was Green, it was Chandler, and before that, it was the fight he lost against Jared Gordon. And now he's getting an interim title shot. And again, to his credit, it's the promos. Good for you, Paddy. You knew how to stir up some drama. You know how to cut some promos. But here's the thing. I think Dana White and some other higher-ups at the UFC did what I recently did. I think they watched all their latest fights. And I think they know that Gaethje's going to win this fight. Because immediately what happened, and I'm sure you guys have been noticing this just like I have, not only in the last few years, but definitely now with the coming Paramount era, things have been starting to get real funky lately. We're starting to get storylines like if it was like WWE, like the old WWF type of days. It's like becoming the Attitude Era of the UFC. And we have this drama that was manufactured between Dan Hooker and Paddy Pimblett. It's almost as if the UFC is orchestrating something that's become even bigger than just a fake title, than an interim title. They're already trying to orchestrate Paddy Pimblett's next beef so that when he loses this fight, they have something for him to chase. It can't just be dead in the water. What's gonna happen? Paddy Pimblett loses and then, oh snap, now he's got to fight Beneil Dariush. They've got to have something that the fans could get hyped about, that everybody could really cling on to. And they're already starting to do it even before the fight's begun. And they're already starting to build up a fight between Justin Gaethje and Conor McGregor at the White House. We're already starting to hear talks of what's going to happen after this fight. This is like The Simpsons. This is like a Simpsons episode. Every time I'm on, some kind of social media, I'm always seeing people post. I don't know if I necessarily follow them, but they're in my algorithm, all these conspiracy channels and stuff like that. And I don't know how often I see movies posted or a TV, some kind of sitcom posted or something that somebody said, some, supposedly prophecy or something like that some old dude said. and then they show something that happened actually recently in the world, some kind of cataclysm, some kind of horrible disaster in a crowded area, something that happened to a celebrity or a politician or something. And it's like they're always trying to drop us these clues, and I feel like that's what's happening right now. They're already dropping us the breadcrumbs of what's going to be happening after this fight. It's already a foregone conclusion. Dustin Gaethje has been a rock'em sock'em throughout the majority of his career, but he's getting to the end. There's no, that whole highlight reel thing. That's not going to get you generational wealth. He cleaned it up at that second Fiziev fight. Maybe it's a little bit boring. Maybe it doesn't feel like you're watching a highlight reel type of dude. But that safe kind of fighting is the dude that's going to get a victory over this sloppy Paddy Pimblett. And watching all these dudes' fights, I mean, the only shot that he has against Gaethje is submissions. Paddy Pimblett's takedowns are some of the most sloppiest things I've ever seen in my life. If you go back and watch his fights, his takedown attempts are atrocious. He leaves himself wide open. He just tries to dive for the legs like Superman. No proper setups, no fight IQ. And then against Dustin Gaethje's high-level takedown defense, against Dustin Gaethje's uppercut, that's the worst kind of position for Paddy Pimblett to put himself in, as that's the only hypothetical chance that he even has. He walks around with his chin up in the air. He takes more shots to the dome than Nina Drama during fight week. There's no way in which Paddy Pimblett could win this fight. Not against Gaethje. I saw some video about Paddy Pimblett saying that he was trying to go Paul Simon with it. 50 ways to beat the Gaethje. 50 ways to beat. You're probably too young for that. Anyway, he was talking about all these different ways that he could win the fight, and he can, but not against Gaethje. Paddy's biggest strength, his biggest strength, first of all, is sloppy to begin with. That's why he has to beat people out of the top 10 with it. But his biggest strength is against one of Dustin Gaethje's biggest strengths, and it's not going to bode well for him. And I want to keep this all in context. And by the way, the reason I wasn't even sure if I was going to make this video, but I thought, what, I'm going to force myself to make this video because I'm going to be so frustrated after the fight when Gaethje wins. And I'm saying, I told you guys, and everyone's like, what do you mean? How'd you tell us? I've been saying it every day. I stream every single day. I live stream every single day. The same 30 people show up, and I love you for it. But the masses aren't even going to know that I called it. So I have to make this video to put it out there and let you know. But I have to also keep it into proper context. I'm not a Gaethje fanboy. I'm not delusional. Max Holloway was still piece up Gaethje. Oliveira would choke that fool out. Like, everything is still intact. I'm just talking about the battle of the bridesmaids right now. I'm talking about Pimblett and Gaethje. Paddy Pimblett is a mess. He's distracted. They made an artificial side beef for him already. He's not a top 10 fighter. And as soon as he's over there facing Hooker, and then Gaethje's over here at the White House with Conor McGregor, of course, McGregor's going to win that fight. By the way, I don't know if this is probably I've said it so many times in stream, but I think more people are potentially going to see this. I think that the best fight that Conor McGregor could do at the White House is against Israel Adesanya. And I can't even tell you how much it tickles my taters, bro, when people are acting like that's not a good idea. It burns me up, bro. People are saying that Adesanya is too big, which is one of the stupidest things that I've heard in the last couple days. Adesanya fought Gastelum, which is less than an inch taller than McGregor. And McGregor, most of the time, weighs more than Adesanya. So what are you talking about? Adesanya's too big. That's ridiculous. I think it will be the perfect matchup. It will be the fallen from grace title. Two disgraced former champions, overhyped. Needed athletic. What are they called when you need an athletic psychiatrist because you got like mental issues? Like, you're a good athlete, but you have a sports psychology. They're like the male Ronda Rouseys of the sport. That's the fight I want to see. Supposedly a couple of the best strikers. That would be a fantastic, entertaining fight. But it's probably not going to happen. So they're going to have Hooker and Paddy Pimblett over here. They're going to have Gaethje and Conor at the White House. Conor's going to take it. And what does that set up? Congratulations. Congratulations, Attitude Era UFC. What does that set up? Ilia Tapuera and Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor and the Kirkland brand Conor McGregor. The Spanish, German, Georgian starter kit Conor McGregor. Ilia Tapuera and Conor McGregor at the White House. Good job, UFC. Good job. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody ever saw that coming except the Grandmaster.